In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make a high quality podcast using just your phone. Hi everyone, it's Matt here from Greatness Everyday, and one of the things that I've enjoyed the most since I started Greatness Everyday is my podcast. And my podcast has been something that's grown way wilder than I thought it was. I didn't think that I was going to get a lot of listens, but I have, and I'm approaching a really cool milestone for me. And at the same time, it's one of the platforms and the mediums, let's say, that I've had the most fun creating content for. So I'm going to show you in this video how to use the Anchor app. And the Anchor app is something that you can get here on your phone for Android, for iOS as well. But at the same time, you can also use and upload to it using the website. So on your desktop, you can go to a website, you can record with a fancy microphone, you can record with super nice audio software, and then upload it from a website to the Anchor platform. And that's great. That's usually how I go ahead and upload my Greatness Everyday podcast. But at the same time, when I'm traveling or when I want to record a podcast that's a little bit faster and I don't have the time to necessarily put in that post production to make that quality even higher, I use something called the Anchor app. And the Anchor app delivers high quality podcast episodes really easily, and it does the work for you. And that's my biggest thing here is the Anchor app is something that I'm able to record the podcast, and then once I press publish, it pushes it out everywhere for you. So that's the beautiful thing about it, because you do the hard work of making the episode and creating the content. But then after that, sometimes it's so much work for those of you that know podcasts to go ahead and actually distribute it to all the different platforms. And the beautiful thing is that Anchor does that for you, to the big ones, to Apple Podcasts, to Google Play Music, as well to Spotify. And that's new in the last few months, and I personally think that is a huge game changer there. So let's go ahead and look at the Anchor app and how it works. You're going to notice that in the very bottom left corner, that's where you're going to find the Anchor app. Go ahead and download that if you haven't downloaded that already. And the first thing you're going to see is how many views or how many plays your episodes have had so far. So I just uploaded this and it says I've had 52 plays so far. In the bottom left corner, it says listen. And this is like kind of like your home page where you're able to scroll through here and see some cool podcasts. New Perceptions by Ben Brown is a great one. He's a great filmmaker. But these are some of the podcasts that I follow at the top. Your favorites and things like that. You're going to notice in the bottom right, it says your podcast. So you're going to open that up and you'll see that it says I have 46,000 total plays. So I'm approaching 50K, which is way wilder than I ever thought I'd reach in such a short time compared to how long that I would have expected to reach that. The average plays per episode, a little bit about my Greatness Everyday podcast, and then all of the episodes that I've recorded down here with their plays and things like that. So you can look at that. It also tells you where is your Anchor podcast distributed. So the beautiful thing about it is it's not just distributed just on Anchor. It is, and Anchor is great, but it also goes to Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Castbox, Google Play Music, Overcast, all these other places, of course, Apple Podcasts as well, and they're always looking to add more. One thing I'll say as well before I show you how to actually make your podcasting, which is super easy, is they recently in the last few months as well introduced sponsorship. So you can go ahead and apply for a sponsorship, and if you get a certain amount of plays, you're going to get paid for that. So Anchor's really kind of gone out and looked at how can they monetize their podcast episodes and to really support their creators. And I'm thankful they've done that. I have not personally done that yet. I'm debating on whether to monetize my podcast or not, but that'll be something that I decide as the year goes on. So how do you make a podcast? Really easily. If you're using your phone, you can go down to the tools section. And I should say this works on a tablet as well, and their tablet app is probably a step above what you see here, but you press the plus button and that's going to take you into the recording feature. And down at the bottom, you're going to notice that there's a big red button that says record. At the same time, you have a few other things back and left here. These are for like some sound bites, some things that you've recorded previously. These are some transitions or interludes, they call them. They have different sounds, and you can add 30 seconds of an iTunes or Apple Music or Spotify Premium song if you choose to. But for the recording, it's simple. You're just going to press the red button to record, and there you can see on my screen I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's starting to record. So that's counting up in the time. If you were to just hold your phone up to your ear and start talking, that would happen and it would just start recording automatically. At the same time, sometimes I like to hold it in front of my face and I just record this way. But the really cool thing is when you go ahead and if you started by putting the phone up to your ear and you would take it away, that's when it would go ahead and it would actually stop the recording. So for me here, I'm just going to go ahead and tap the stop button at the bottom and you're going to see that there's a 37-second podcast episode, let's call it, that's been saved there. It's just going to be me talking like you see in the video, but if I wanted to preview that, I could go ahead and press play. Red button to record, and there you can see on my screen, and it's going to play it back, and you're noticing probably, I don't know if the mic picks that up or not, but the sound quality is pretty good, especially for the fact that I'm just using my cell phone. You can get external mics and things like that, depending on what equipment you're using. And if you're looking at making an investment in your podcasting, I definitely would. Again, I do probably 80% of my podcasts at home in my little studio that I've made, but using an external mic, record it on software, and then I upload it to the desktop or the web version of the Anchor website, which I just find that easier. But I use this a lot, especially when I'm traveling. I don't have to carry around a lot of equipment. I can literally just pick my phone up, press record, press done, and select publish, and then it's out there. And that's a beautiful thing about it. I shared this, the steps to making an Anchor podcast with a friend the other day who's been trying for a few months now to really start his own podcast. And he's like, wow, this is so much easier in terms of it really does the work for you. So if you wanted to do some things like add background music, the cool thing about Anchor is they have a bunch of this built-in background music already. You can just select that and it's going to add it into your episode. And it says that it's in there now. If I select it, it should play it in the background. Okay. I don't really like that track, to be honest, but then I would go down and have the option to trim it if I need to shorten it or make it longer, and select done. I could call this segment here test, and I would go ahead and select add recording to an episode. Notice there that it asks you, it says, are you ready to publish this episode? And you say, yes, I'm ready to publish, or you might say, no, I'm not ready. I'm gonna go not yet, because the cool thing about Anchor is it allows you to create segments and then you can add it in and build up an episode. So what I'm gonna do next is go into the tools, and I wanna go over into the interlude. I go down to the bottom, there's an interlude that I usually like when I can't use my theme song that I use when I record on my computer. So I'm going to go in here and, oh, they split it up by the different things. So I'm just gonna type in West, and I'm going to click add that. So that's adding to my episode. When I go back, you're going to notice that my episode, that interlude's been added, that transition's been added, and maybe I want to record my main podcast here. Another good trick is when you tap the red button, if you swipe up, it allows you to not be holding on to that podcast or to that button, recording button the whole time. Hi everyone, it's Matt from the Greatness Everyday podcast, and I really thank you for watching this video and blah, blah, blah. When I'm done, I'm gonna select stop and I'm gonna select save, and this is going to be, let's call like the main part of our podcast, add recording to episode, and then we're done. If I was to go up here in the top right and select publish, that would push it to my Anchor platform. I can fill in the episode title, and then in the episode description as well, I can fill that in. And then I can go ahead down on the bottom, select publish. A really good thing about Anchor as well is it really easily allows you to share it across different platforms, which you can do. And for the sake of this, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to publish the episode either, just so that my listeners don't hear it. So that's the Anchor app. I hope that you can really kind of look at that, fool around with it. It's pretty intuitive, pretty self-explanatory. So go ahead and check that out on your own. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to see a more specific, like exact workflow of how I record my podcasts, how I optimize them when we're talking about SEO, and really how I upload them using the website version of Anchor, I'd love to show that to you. So just let me know down in the comments below that that is something you'd like to see, and I'll figure out how I can do that for you. So if this video helps, hopefully it helps you grow your influence and your income as you're looking to either grow your brand or just talk about something that you have a lot of fun talking about. That's a beautiful thing about podcasting. It can be super casual, and the Anchor app really lends to that, or it can be more produced, and so does Anchor as well. So Anchor is doing a great job, and I really like their platform. So go ahead and like this video if it helps you. You might want to click the subscribe button down below and tap the bell to be notified when a new video comes out. If you're on Instagram, you want to go ahead and check us out there. We'd love that as well. Or you can find us at www.greatnesseveryday.online. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.